Welcome to the world of Zip System building enclosures, where we believe in striving for optimal air, water, and thermal management, no matter the region or climate. Because when you have the right products to do the right job the right way, the first time, you're building to a higher code.
I'm Jake Bruton, and today we are in a loud prefab assembly plant, and I'm sorry that it's so loud, but I can't ask the second shift in this building to quit. We're going to talk about the wall assembly that we've seen all over Norway and what it means for our building in the United States and the question mark that I have coming home from this trip. So let's do it now. Okay, I have to cut the video real quick. This is a few weeks later, and this is something that I realized a few hours after making this video with the videographer while we were in Norway. And this is a conversation that Steve and I actually had together, and we both had this kind of epiphany moment where we had been thinking about all this wrong. So I want to say, stick around to the end of the video, because this section of the video will get laced in and will alter the conversation that I had while we were at Optimera. So we're going to change the conversation after you listen to this part of the conversation. So stick around. Okay, so we're looking at prefab wall assemblies, and we've seen this wall assembly basically all over Norway. And we've seen effectively two. Like, we were hoping to see a broader range of construction, but it's been the same thing over and over again. It's either a CLT panel with exterior insulation and some sort of WRB outboard of that, or it's been this wall panel and this wall assembly in some sort of podium or CLT prefab assembly. We're at a prefab assembly plant owned by Optimera. Optimera is basically like Home Depot or Lowe's for Norway. They control a quarter of the materials market in Norway. What they're putting together is somewhere between a 2x8 and 2x10 wall, and it will be stuffed with fluffy stuff. In this case, in these walls, it is a mineral wool. I think I saw rock wool bats back there, but I have seen some Owens Corning stuff as well. This product on the face that you can see is their WRB. It is the final surface. It is an exterior rated gypsum, and the battens you can see them putting on right here, that doesn't have anything to do with the actual building. That is just for spacers. They're about to stand this wall up. So effectively we have that 6mm vapor barrier on the inside, insulation, and then we have exterior gypsum with the seams tape. So we have an air control layer in our exterior gypsum and an air control layer probably in that 6mm poly. And they're thinking of everything as a vapor control layer in that 6mm poly. I think we can make an argument that we're getting air control out of it obviously as well. And that's probably the main purpose that it's serving. We're effectively the same latitude as Anchorage, Alaska. And if we were in the United States, this wouldn't even be an approved wall for climate zone 6 and up. So if we were in Minnesota, this wall we would be told would be a failure possible wall. So I think it's, number one, it's important for us to look at this and go, okay, things work even though we think they might. Number two, when we have the conversation about risk, it's not this will fail. It's we might be raising our risk instead of it will fail. We might cause failure. And the first question that I asked when we saw this was, how long has this been standard? And this is like a 30 or 40 year wall that we've been seeing in this country. And failure is not something that we've discussed with any of the builders that we've seen. And it's not something that they're concerned with. They do this every day of the week, and they're building to passive house standards. So we're not seeing a wall that they're just baking dry with energy. It works. And if we're in the US, we would all agree that this is something that we would be terrified to do, and they do it every day of the week. So I think the lesson here is we have to be thinking about things differently, basically. Like, this is something that we wouldn't do, it's something that we would think would fail, and yet these are going out the door at record pace. They have 2 shifts. They're the biggest in the country, and this thing is going out every day of the week. So until next time, let's watch this guy go out the door, and let's think about, can we do it different? Should we be doing it different? What is the risk here, and what are we afraid of? Thanks for watching. Okay, so one of the things that we kept seeing in Norway, like I mentioned, was this 2x8, 2x10 wall, stuffed full of fluffy stuff, drywall on the outside, taped seams, poly on the inside, and then they kept putting 2x2s and another layer of insulation on the inside. They treated that as a service cavity, and all of us were having a hard time wrapping our head around, how does this wall work? Why is this working? And I think the reason that we were having a hard time with it is the way that we were seeing it in process. We were seeing the 2x8 wall and them framing, or we were seeing the 2x8 wall with them stacking the 2x2s on the inside, or we were seeing finished product, like already gypsum on both sides or cladding on the outside. And I think had we seen it put together in a different way, it would have made more sense to us. And what happened was I was sitting in my hotel room a few hours after making this video. I should also mention I'm now on vacation with my family. They're allowing me to make a video. I'm sitting outside of our rental house where I partnered our trip to Norway with a European vacation, so I'm in Croatia. That's why I'm not in my truck or in my office. And so I was sitting in my hotel room in Norway that night and drawing the wall assembly on a piece of paper, trying to figure out, why does this work physics-wise when code says this won't work, when nothing says that this is going to be okay, when we say that this is super high risk, like I said in the video. And I started with the interior layer of gypsum, and then I drew the 2x2, and then I drew the fluffy stuff, and then I drew the poly control layer, and then I started to draw the 2x8, and I realized the Norwegians are building a 2x2 frame wall and then a 2x8 exterior insulation. So they're making their exterior insulation a 2x8, and they're making their interior frame wall a 2x2. If you look at it that way, that's why the wall works. If you look at it as they have a 2x2 wall that's inboard of everything that's in the video, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to take that 2x8 wall that's in the video, they're going to ship it to a site, they'll set that. That'll technically be the structural wall, but what happens is they have that poly layer, then they add a 2x2 and more insulation and more drywall. That ends up being what we think of as our frame wall. So in the US, a lot of times that would be a 2x4 or 2x6, and then we'd have continuous insulation outboard of that. They just happen to be using the 2x8 and the insulation in that 2x8 wall as the continuous insulation outboard of their framing. That meaning they have drywall, 2x2, and then poly. That's their wall, and then they have continuous insulation after that. Everything's outboard of that. They're warming that 2x2 chase. All of their penetrations and all of their stuff happens in that 2x2 wall. It's all surface cavity. It makes perfect sense when you think about it like that. It still seems bizarre. There's still thermal bridging that happens with those 2x8s. I get it. It's not exactly a perfect argument, but it works. And the argument of, we make this argument of, oh, well, it's going to fail. Not necessarily. We always think of things as it's going to fail because we think it's going to fail, instead of the risk is higher, or you're elevating your risk or whatever. Clearly it's not. Clearly it works for them. And I think if we look at this wall assembly as a 2x2 wall with 8 inches of continuous insulation, or near continuous, I keep saying continuous, it's not continuous, near continuous insulation on the outside, that makes way more sense. That we have substantially reduced thermal bridging, and we were just kind of looking at it wrong because of the way we were seeing it be put together, basically. And that's why even when making the video and standing there in front of it, we were all kind of like, yeah, this isn't something that should work. This shouldn't work. Why does this work? I don't understand why this keeps working, and why the entire country is having success with it. It tricked us. what can I say? I've got darn near 30 years in the industry, or 30 plus years in the industry. Steve's got closing in on probably 40 years in the industry. Luke's the same way, and we all stared at it and went, should it work? I don't think so. But it does, and they're having great success, and they're building Passive House with it. So thanks for watching.